Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to G Bear's Off-Grid Ways. We're going to take a break from the soap opera, as it was called by Dee, for today. It's a little on the windy side, as you can see all the bushes out there doing their wind dance. And I figured today would be a good day to go back to basics, a little bit more about what this channel's about. And that's going to be a little bit of solar. And we're going to do solar for the beginners. Those people out there that are thinking about getting involved in some solar, I'm going to show you where to start so you can get a knowledge of what's going on. So while we're doing that, we're going to start with very simple, basic materials. First of all, you need a battery or batteries for a battery bank. I'm using my chest holding unit here for the camera so that I have my hands free. But you're going to need a battery bank. Now you can see alligator clips on here. That controller back there is connected to it, and I'm putting 13.7 in on it right now. There's a couple of solar panels up on the roof of the container. They're, I would say maybe 20 watts total of power, but it's only for one battery to keep it charged. And I use this battery for numerous different things, like running a portable pump to transfer water and things like that. All right. Now, excuse me. We're going to turn around here, and I'm going to catch myself a paper towel here so that I can blow my nose. I got spring fever or something like that. Anyway, okay, so back to the materials. You need a battery. Forget these clips on here. Those are for something else. Look at that. I jumped up to 14 volts there. So the battery is fully charged. Okay. You need a charge controller. This is one, and that's one over there. That's an old Harbor Freight 45 watt solar kit controller. And I think I bought that thing back in the early to mid 90s. So that one's been around for a while. This one was recently sent to me by one of my viewers, hoping I could use it. And I am going to use it. This is going to end up being the MPPT controller that goes in my ore cart so that I have solar power in my ore cart for running things like jackhammers and things like that. So back to the system. So we got a battery, we got a control unit, all right? What else do we need? Well, we need a solar panel. Just so happens that I have one of these 100 watt solar panels that I use when I run my portable pump out on the compound when I'm transferring water. So that's a 100 watt Harbor Freight solar panel. They used to be on sale for $99 for 100 watts, and that was a good price because the average rule of thumb was to figure $1 a watt. And now they got the 100 watt system that comes with 4 25 watt panels. It comes with a small charge controller, a little different than this. It turns on its side this way, and it's not an MPPT controller. It's a pulse wave modulator, PWM. MPPT stands for maximum power point. Somebody help me out there. I'm listening to the dogs trying to get in the gate here. Okay, maximum power point tracking. So what this does, an MPPT is a better unit, because what it does is the computer built inside of it will actually track the best power coming in from your solar panels and convert that into battery charging power. And it takes the best to do that. PWM, what it does is it takes the power coming from your panel and it pulses it. So you're not getting a steady flow of power as you would from an MPPT. All right, then you're going to need some wiring, some wires to connect stuff. And we're going to need a screwy driver. Oh, there's plenty of those on the road. Anyway, so let's see what I can do here. I'm going to tilt this down a little bit more. So on this one, we're going to have to remove this little cover at the bottom, and you'll see all the screws here. Okay, now there's a little icons here. The first two are positive and negative for solar panel. Okay, the next two are positive and negative for battery. And the last two are positive and negative for the light bulb, or that's your auxiliary power. That's something that uses up extra power should your batteries be at full charge and there's still plenty of power coming in. You can have a light on in the room and have the incandescent bulb as a load to help burn down some of that extra electricity. You don't ever have to worry with a good controller as to whether or not your batteries are going to overcharge. These things are usually built so that they limit the charge, and you can control using these up and down buttons right here, or the set button and the up button will you can set your adjustments. So let's say a 12-volt battery at full charge is around 13.6 volts. Okay, that's a fully charged, top of the line good battery, 13.6. All right. When you see stuff like 14.1 on your controller, that's doing what they call equalization, and it's putting a little extra electricity into your battery to keep sediment from building up on the plates at the bottom of the battery. It tries to boil the battery. Now this battery, of course, won't boil because it doesn't have free-flowing liquid in it. There's no caps on top. This has little cylinders here that are absorbed with liquid, and those are what's causing the electrolysis in there between the copper and the zinc plates, or the copper and the lead plates. All right, so without getting into explaining how a battery is built, let's move on. All right, so what are we going to do first? This is important to remember, and I said that slow so you remember it. Okay, always, I don't care what type of system you're setting up, whether it's a 12-volt system, 24-volt system, 48-volt system, 36-volt system, 72-volt system. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Always connect the battery to your controller first. Why? Well, that tells the controller, which is basically a small computer, what voltage it's going to be dealing with. Now, a lot of these controllers, like this one, is good for 12 or 24 volts. So I could take two batteries and hook them in series and make 12 plus 12 would be 24 volts. And then I could use this for a 24 volt controller. The panel doesn't matter. I could use the same solar panel and just adding another battery in series. Series meaning you got two batteries. You connect the negative from the first battery to the positive of the second battery. That gives you a positive on one battery and a negative on the other battery. So it turned two batteries into one larger battery. When you hook batteries in series, that raises the voltage. So this is 12 volts. If you put another one right beside it, that'd be another 12 volts. You hook them in series, that's 24 volts. You put a third battery and hook it into the series, positive to negative in that third one, you're at 36 volts. You put the fourth battery into series, and you're at 48 volts, and so forth and so on, all right? So you can choose your voltages, but when you do that, you want to make sure you get a controller that will handle the higher voltages. This one is 1224. So I think they mean that when they say 1220 here. It'll handle 12 or 24 volts, all right? So we're going to go with 12 volts today. So we're going to take the first negative battery cable, and we're going to go into the negative section here of the battery. Let's see if this screwdriver is going to work. Yeah, it looks like it. All right, so I got the wire all the way in, and I like using a flat screwdriver, even though you can use a Phillips screwdriver. A flat screwdriver allows you to get a little bit more torque. I had to change to a smaller screwdriver. That other the blade was scraping on the plastic. All right, so I got that in nice and tight. Now we're going to take the positive and slip that in. I'm trying to do this by looking at the camera while I'm doing it. And we might have to loosen the screw a little bit. Now let's see if I can twist these up a little to get them tighter. There we go. So we're going to tighten that screw down and get it nice and firm. All right. All right, so now we can connect the battery cables to the battery. All right, so I'm going to connect the negative. Let me get the camera in sight here. I'm going to connect the negative first. Come on. Why are you giving me a hard time? All right. And then we're going to connect the positive, but I want you to be able to see the screen on the charge controller when I do that. As here we go. And I see it powering up. It says 12 volts. Look at that. 14.1 is in the battery, remember? 14.1 on the other controller. So this controller says agrees with it. It's saying that it has that in. Now it's showing here that we are connected to the battery. All right, the MPPT controller is connected to battery, but there's nothing on the other side of it. So what goes there? Well, solar does. Solar. So we're going to take the negative solar cable and insert it into the charge controller. I should have gotten my sorry about that. My camera shut off, and when I reached down to grab the camera to see what happened, it was hot. So this is the S24 Plus Samsung. For those of you who run a YouTube channel, beautiful camera, but the phone sucks. It's a piece of shit. If you watch my other videos about it just recently, the trouble I'm going through, it all has to do with the phone, guaranteed. And the provider's lying to me. But I'm going to try to finish this video before it goes off again. So next thing, you're going to hook up your solar panel wires that come from the controller to your solar panel. And before you do that, very important, either turn the panel away from the sun or cover it with a tarp or a piece of cardboard or a blanket or something like that. Do not attempt to connect your wires while the panel is under load. That's not a good thing to do. You may luck out and there won't be any problem with it, but you may also blow the thing up. So you don't want to do that. All right, so then you're going to put your connections on this, and I do have another SAE clip here somewhere that I could use. But you're going to connect your positive and negative. Make sure you go by the colors of the wire. You want to make sure you get your black wire on the right side and your red wire on the correct side. All right? And you don't want to short them together. Okay? Actually, when you short these two wires together, you do that for testing. And you would have this cover opened on the back of it. And you could test the shorted circuit power that's running through the system. All right, so since I can't actually connect that without my SAE connector, I'm just going to show you that that's what you would do next. Now your system is complete. You can put your solar panel out in the sun and it will start bringing power in to your system and charging your battery. All right, now these little controllers are pretty neat because they have USB ports in here. So a small system like I just set up here, 100-watt panel, 12-volt battery, and a 1224 MPPT controller with the USB ports in the front, that would be a great little camping unit that you can carry with you. And you can charge your cell phones and your laptop and your iPads and whatever else because you have the units here. Now, if you didn't and you wanted to have 120 volts of power, AC power, so that you could plug in your AC charger or plug in a small TV or something like that, you would also need one more component, which is an inverter. And the inverters, let's see, I think I got some here. Up here on the shelf. Okay. Here's one small inverter. And this one's only 140 watts. So this one won't run much, but it will charge a laptop if you had to plug it in. And it comes with a positive and negative wire on it that you would connect to your battery, directly to the battery. Then turn it on and you'll have AC power. Now they have bigger ones. Let's see if I can get one of those down. Here's a larger one that has 2 outlets in it. And this one is a 400 to 800 watt. Now, when it's a Chinese unit, go by the lowest number, not the highest. That's a misleading thing. They do that a lot of times. So this is 400 watts. So that's all you can run on this is 400 watts. You can find that on any label of any piece of apparatus that you want to run. All right, now, lastly, let me see if I can get this out of here and point it upward. There's a big inverter up there, 8,000 watt. Okay, that's 8,000 is called 8K. K stands for 1,000. All right, so that's an 8,000 watt power inverter, and that'll run quite a bit of stuff. But without getting you confused into that, because we're in beginner's solar, there's such a thing as pure sine wave and dirty sine wave or modified sine wave. If you're going to be running computers, TVs, anything electronic, new electronics, do not like modified sine wave. You have to use pure sine wave inverter. So just keep that in mind if you go to the inverter direction, all right? So, with all of that covered, I'm going to have to edit this video and put 2 videos together because of the break in between. Just treat it like a commercial, you know, and get yourself a couple of Oreos and a glass of milk, and then come back and finish watching. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining me. This is G Bear signing off.